tuning in to Turn to the Stars. As you know, my name is Andrea Klim, and I am an astrologer, a counseling astrologer, and a core shamanic practitioner from the local Manchester area. And I want to say a big thank you for tuning in today, because we have a pretty interesting show planned. But first, before I begin the show, I want to say thank you to the community, all of our community, for coming to the last Psychic Holistic Fair that we had this past Saturday, September 22nd, at the Yard. It was the most phenomenal gathering of spirits that we have experienced in over the last 2 years of facilitating these fairs. So I want to say a great big thank you to all of our community, all of the participants at the fair, and just let you know to mark your calendar for our next event, which is going to be November 10th, Saturday, November 10th, just prior to the next set of eclipses that are coming in, solar and lunar. So today, the show is going to be all about the harvest full moon, which is coming, the energy which is applying at this time and growing in its effects and its influences to all of us. And this is going to be this energy. I was just saying to Joe here at the station, if you think last week's energy was interesting or a bit overwhelming, this week's energy, dig in your heels and just take it slow, because the energy is combustible. And my job as an astrologer, my job as a shamanic practitioner, is to offer you tools and ideas and understanding of how to manage this energy, how to best manage it, how to keep on walking, how to live with this type of erratic, unusual influence which is growing around us. So I have a chart which I'm going to put on the screen, which is a universal astrology chart. This is a chart which I created for exactly at the time this Saturday, September 29th, 2012, at exactly 11:23 p.m., you are going to see the peak of this full moon. Now, if you look about 12 o'clock on this astrology chart of the heavens, about 12 o'clock, you can see that Uranus and the moon, the crescent, are up at the very top of this chart, 12 o'clock, and that full moon is at 7 degrees of Aries, right next to the planet Uranus. Uranus's energy and that full moon energy, you can see that there's a lot of activity, that is a lot of lines in the middle of this chart that are all coming up to that point. And so full moon brings things to light, brings a lot of emotion, and people tend to react through emotion, especially with that influence of Aries. Aries is, you know what, take action, do something, but it can be exceptionally aggressive, this full moon energy. And with Uranus next to it, no one knows what's going to happen. It is uncontrolled. It can really raise havoc. And it's interesting, we were just talking about, you know, what's going on in the Middle East, and we are on the brink of what looks like a revolution because of spiritual beliefs. And you know, it is my belief that all paths lead to the same place, all belief systems lead to the same place, which is the spirit, the guiding spirit, the creative spirit. So this full moon, as we walk through this week, is going to be unleashing or unfolding experiences that are beckoning us to just, you know, instead of taking action, take caution, use your brain, think. I shouldn't say that, use your brain, but think things through before acting on them. What you're seeing in that chart is what we call a grand cardinal cross, and it's formed by Pluto, the moon, and Uranus, that full moon and Uranus together, and the ascendant in the chart, and the sun. They are all what's forming this, what we call grand cardinal cross. Whenever I see this in any chart, what it indicates, what it shows me, and what I will help others understand is that this aspect is a warning to take caution, that there's things that are going to be coming at us from nowhere. The sun is our light, our spirit, our vitality. And this, as I said before, is a universal chart, meaning this is energy that is affecting the world. It's what's around us. And so with the sun, our homeland where we live, people's homes, their families are being affected by this energy. Relationships are being affected by this energy. And it is, as you know, full moons bring intensity. It makes things look bigger because we are humans, we are emotional creatures. So my advice on this full moon is to communication is going to be one of the major keys. Communication between families, connecting through love and logic, compassion for others' suffering. It made me think of the song, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, as I was preparing for this show, that song by Hair. And they talk about, some of the lyrics in that song are, when the moon is in the 7th house, and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. And we are on the brink of that age. This energy is beckoning us to not react in combative ways, to not take action which is with the self only in the sight, in the vision. It's interesting because there is as you've heard me talk about on other shows, I use the Sabian symbols, which were created. I follow Mark Edmund Jones' Sabian symbols. They're symbols that help us to look deeper, gather more insight into energy. And being that this full moon, this harvest moon on Saturday, is at 7 degrees of Aries, there's a picture I'm going to put on the screen which shows a man which is successfully expressing himself in 2 realms at once. You see the energy out of the top of his head, yet he's sitting on the earth. There's a conscious duality by which man first really differentiates himself from the animals. So versatility in work, self-expression. This 7 degrees Aries expression is, we can best walk through and manage this energy, which is so full, so big, so different, so unusual, by allowing ourselves to stay connected here, yet receive our direction from our divine guidance. Listening, that means slowing down enough to think, to feel, to realize who we are and how it is going to be best to react. Think about yourself, think about others, think about others, think about yourself. We're all in this together. Extremely important. This full moon is not the final forerunner of difficult aspects that are in the sky. So what I'm going to offer you is that, that symbol you just saw, Uranus is the awakener, and being that Uranus is going to be right by that full moon, the awakener to the self, the awakener of the self, the awakener of what action is going to be best and what is going to be best for everyone involved. So that does take that we slow down, that we use caution, that we are aware of the things that are triggering us and the things that in us that are triggering other people. And it is in our best interest. It is absolutely in our best interest. And some of the notes I made prior to this show were about some, first off, I want to mention some of those lyrics from that song, The Age of Aquarius, because we are absolutely, the energy that we're feeling, that we're experiencing is similar to the final trimester of a pregnancy. So everyone out there who has children or who has been through that wonderful experience of having a child knows that it can feel like the weight of the world is on our shoulders when we're at that place, because you can't really sleep, you're in preparation, you're getting things ready, and so it can feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders because of the pressure. So what I wanted to say and to encourage people is that as the words in that song, The Age of Aquarius, the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the words go: harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding, no more falsehoods or diversions, golden living dreams of visions, mystic crystal revelations, and the mind's true liberation. And then they say Aquarius, Aquarius. And so I also want to talk to you about, if you're having words that are popping into your head, that Uranus is that planet that wakens us to our superconsciousness, wakens us to our divine creator. It wakens us to the light of the world around us. And if you're able to sit and hear that internal voice, it will be only in your best interest, and it will only help you to manage your life in a better way. And it's interesting because the picture behind me is of a rainbow that was over my house yesterday afternoon, September 24th, about dinner time, I'd say about 5 o'clock. It looked like it was raining, and then I saw the sun. I said, "Where's the rainbow?" We went outside, and there was this incredible rainbow above my house, and we were lucky enough to get a picture of it, because a storm before the calm. A rainbow always comes at the end of a storm, and if the sun comes out and lights up where it had been dark, you get this beautiful rainbow. And it made me think to myself, what I felt right away is that everything's going to be okay if we're able to connect and hear each other. And like I said earlier, one of the major, most positive things in this chart, that Jupiter is actually in the constellation of Gemini on this full moon as it approaches, and it is actually trining the sun. And which means that there's many gifts that through our studying, through our educating ourselves, through being smart and making good, healthy decisions, communicating and talking things through, this is the way out. This is the way out for all of us to somehow look at things in a more peaceful way. But the chart that you're seeing with this full moon does really talk about a sort of revolution that is happening in each of us. And so I do want to talk a little bit more about the meaning of this full moon. And the Sabian symbol, actually the description is of the abyss of no return but onward. So I keep saying, just keep on walking, just keep on walking. That is one of the most important things that you can do. But stop and think, though, too, about your choices. Is this in my best interest? Is this in everybody's best interest? Absolutely, this full moon, this energy every day as we lead up to the end of the week, as this energy peaks, it is a warning to us from hanging on to what worked in the past. Basically, we need to understand that the future is bright if we intend it to be. The past is, we all have a past, we all have a story, we all have things that we've experienced, we all have our story. However, release the negative thoughts which are holding us back from our own progress. It's only going to be in our best interest. It is the progress that will pull us forward through this time. I actually call where we're at this time energetically, it's sort of like walking, like we're all in this peduncle, meaning a very narrow passageway. A peduncle is, it kind of looks like if you look at a flower, there's a stem that comes from a root, and then often it narrows out near the top where the flower blossoms out. And we're at that narrow passageway at the almost at the very edge of birthing this new age, but I call it a peduncle. So here we are at this place where there's this narrow passage, and there is light at the end of this tunnel, and that basically is what that rainbow was. I felt was that this rainbow is telling me we're all going to be okay. There is light, there is color, there is brightness at the end of this tunnel. So this full moon is reminding us that we are moving into abyss of no return, but onward to new adventures. That is exciting in itself, and potentials that are beyond our wildest dreams. The age Aquarius is going to be a 2100-year cycle, which is the birth of a time where we unite, where we listen to each other, where we think about collectively where we're all going. And we can no longer deny its existence as it unfolds before our eyes and our presence. My belief, your beliefs, they're all important. It all goes to the same place. It all leads to the same place, which is the light of our spirit. So with these aspects of action and movement in place in the constellations, there's a sense that we can no longer turn back but need to go forward. The need to go forward is imminent. The pains of change, absolutely, there's pain with change. However, there's also excitement with change, which is very evident with this full moon at 7 degrees of Aries on this Saturday. And this is Eastern time. This time was created based upon Manchester, the city of Manchester, New Hampshire. This is when we here on the East Coast in Manchester and surrounding towns experience this peak of energy. And it is reminding us that we're moving forward into this abyss of no return, but onward to the future. And as I said before, it's a peduncle, a narrow passageway with a rainbow at the opening of this new age. We need to move forward with faith and trust that through the darkness we finally reach the light. So important that we remain positive, and there is no other way but through our spiritual guidance, through the tools that we've developed to manage our lives in more positive ways. And with that, I do want to tell you about a workshop that is coming up on October 13th and 14th. And I have had the good fortune to meet Ramona Garcia and Marlene Mercedes, who have been for 45 years walking this path of helping people to connect with their spiritual guidance. And so they are facilitating a ESP development workshop on October 13th and 14th at the Yard Seafood and Steakhouse. And I would hope that you could mark your calendar with those dates. And we already have a nice growth of this workshop. And this workshop, as you see on the screen, this is Ramona on the left with the blonde hair, and Marlene is on the other side. You've seen them on my past TV shows, and they are both world-known psychics and mediums, and it is very exciting because here's some of the key points about this workshop. And this is a way that you can develop your own inner, connect with your own inner guidance if you're that person who is on that path of searching for this. So there's things like this that you're going to be able to learn. And again, this is all going to be very helpful for this time that we're living in. And it is one of the best gifts you could give yourself is to take care of yourself. Learn how to uncover the secrets of your super unconscious, of your super consciousness, and tap into your unconscious. Learn techniques for developing and manifesting what you've dreamed of. Learn how to read your own body, figuring out why you're feeling what you're feeling, and if it's yours. Learn how to use psychic functioning in your everyday life, helping yourself, your family, and your friends. Learn practical techniques for discerning daily aggravations, and learn how that you can most positively solve them. Learn hands-on healing techniques to help your family, friends, and clients. Learn how to manifest time, energy, and desire. And these are just a few of the things that will be taught by Ramona and Marlene. And I will, if you're interested in more information on this, please feel free to contact me if you like at Turn to the Stars, www.turntothestars.com. We'd be happy to help you in any way that we can as you on your search for ways to have some type of structure or some type of some methods for balancing out your life, for working through things in relationships, because on the astrology chart that this week, which is leading up to this full moon, there are two aspects that I call the way out. The energy provides that way out for us to manage, to find ways to discipline ourselves so that we can cross this bridge together. And it is compassion, empathy, understanding, and unconditional love for our fellow human being. And like you see the rainbow behind me, there is light at the end of that tunnel. So the interesting thing that I would want to share with you also about this Aries full moon that is right beside Uranus is that the universe in all its wisdom is showing us that we don't need to have fear of the difficulties and the tribulations. I can say this to you, but I know that in your life, or depending on where you're at, there's always a positive spin. I mean, you can always identify the negatives. That's so easy, so easy. But how about the positives, the good things? Out of every storm, there's a gift. And so stepping stones, just one little step at a time, and we will get there. So I know that I want to caution you as this week progresses, anybody who's watching the show, allow extra time to go places, because there's going to be peaked emotions around everything. And Aries can be quite combative in its response. So people that are not thinking before acting, there is the possibility that there's not the possibility that with this full moon, you're going to see that everywhere around you. So if you're one of the people that is saying, you know what, I'm gonna allow extra time, I'm gonna take my time, and you will see that it will make a big difference in your life. And so the other aspect that I was saying, there was two of them on this astrology chart that are very positive, very supportive, very helpful, and considering the other person, considering the other person's values, considering that we're all in this period, in this time of change, and taking a look deeper into, gee whiz, if you're bothered by something that someone else is doing, then there is the possibility that they're reflecting something back to you that is unfinished, unresolved within you, because it's never all one-sided. And here's some other encouraging information that I can offer you as this week progresses. The Sabian symbol for the moon, which is the next degree, which is 8, right after this full moon, is 8 degrees of Aries, is imagine this, a large hat with streamers flying facing the east, so to speak. This is a symbol of native creativity, meaning from the grassroots of who we are, being creative and exercising your creative talents. And because as we are all human, we all have human failings. We all have human tendencies to, express our humanness. So that's a nice way of saying that we all have flaws, and that every day that we're able to realize and utilize the ever-changing ability to acknowledge and learn and to grow and to expand who we are as human lights, as positive lights, it's exciting. So this 8 degrees, which is going to follow right after this full moon, which is in a day or two, Sunday, Monday, probably Monday, is that we, be creative and allow yourself to move through the wind. And I think that you're going to find that it is going to be very helpful in that way. So I think that I would like to do one more thing before the end of the show comes today, is to share with you a really wonderful story about how ESP or developing your psychic senses can help you. Yesterday I had a friend of mine who had an experience, and it was brought to my attention that a friend of hers had lost a baby just recently, and she was looking for some direction. And I was telling my friend Ramona, who is going to be doing the ESP development workshop in October, about this, and we were all doing whatever we could to help this lady to move forward, and because she is at a point where she would like to, that she wants to have another baby. And Ramona said that she had, she is an extremely developed psychic, intuitive medium, and she said that to tell this lady that there is this little girl that is coming, and to name this little girl, and to know that this baby is coming, and that this would be positive for her to embrace this energy of creativity and of life that was coming her way. So, when you're able to develop your sixth sense, so to speak, when you're able to tap into that inner light that each and every one of us have, it makes a huge difference in your life. It changes your life. It expands your horizons. It allows you to help other people. It allows you to help yourself first, because it all begins with you. So we're all awaiting this full moon that is coming our way, is awakening us all to our inner light and our inner guidance. So it does change your life. I want to encourage you. I want to encourage everybody who's seeing this show, if you are able to find something like to help you manage your life better, then go for it, because that is where we're all going to grow together. So as this full moon begins to completely unfold its energy this week, my best advice to you was to remember that it's all going to be all right. There is light at the end of this tunnel. This rainbow that you see behind me is, I wanted to share that with you, because it is certainly a great reminder of where we're going, and that our government, that the world around us, that our status together is what's most important, and that the challenges that we're facing, the growth that we're facing is upon us. So thank you all for watching Turn to the Stars this week. Have a great week, and I will see you next week. Take good care.